It's Monday and it's time for another rant. Spent the last few days going through emails and such, and there's this question. There's really two questions. How to make money and how to make it faster. Well, part of the problem is you are putting the cart before the horse. This is going to be extremely offensive, and if you're one of those weak-ass, politically correct, super sensitive people, you want to turn this shit off right now. Because seriously, if you've been fucking up for the last umpteen years, you're not going to turn your life around just like that. It's not going to happen. Sorry, I have no magic beans, no potions, no pills, none of that shit in my pocket to help you out. And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for the magic potion. That simple, easy, push a button solution to fix their jacked up, janky lives. Let me tell you something. If you have been a scrub for a long time, it's going to take a while to get the scrubbiness off your ass. Because see, this is the thing. The longer you do something, the greater the habit. So you can transform your life. But in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and let's just really parse it down to your money life. That's what we're talking about. That's what people want to do. I want to change my money life. I want to change my financial map. I want to go from ashy to classy and stay that way. And the first thing that you should do, and it's not about your business plan, and it's not about, I got to get paid, and it's not about flipping shit. It is, you have got to turn on your inner pimp. For this conversation, let's break down the pimp. What's a pimp? Is a person that manages and exploits a situation. That's what it is. Some of you are going to go, that's nefarious, and he just goes ahead and pimp, they're pimping women. I'm sorry, your government is pimping your ass right now. Yes, that's right. You are a hard-working whore for the government. Because if you don't own the business, a large percentage of what you make is gone before you get it. But you're just going, well, that's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. And the reason you're saying that is because your inner pimp is not activated. That's why you are getting pimped. Either you're going to pimp or be pimped. That's the world we live in. I'm sorry. If we have to go to evolution, big fish eats little fish. That's the way it is. And understand, just like you, I was in that spot. It's like, the benevolence of humanity. Humanity doesn't give a shit. It really doesn't. So you have to activate your inner pimp. And you have to really say, what the hell do I have to offer the world? Because, see, this is the thing. There's a reason the sex trade is a multi-trillion, not billion, trillion-dollar industry around the world. In every culture, it's there. Because dudes like sex to the point that they will pay rent money to get some ass. That's how powerful the draw is for the unevolved man. That's a totally different conversation we're not going to get into. But essentially, you have to activate, and this isn't a gender thing, because, they're actually, let's be real. Many women are pimping the hell out of the simp-ass dudes. Valentine's Day is around the corner, and you're going to see all types of shenanigans that's going to jump off from guys who are hoping to get some. It is what it is. Because they are not on top of their mental pimping. Trust me on that. It's very powerful. But you have to activate your mental pimp. Your mental pimp is, what do I want? But right behind that is, what do I have to give? You can want and wish and hope all day long. You can put your hands together and pray all day long, and nothing will happen. In many cases, nothing, nada. As Biggie says, you gets Nathan. But if you put your hands together and say, okay, I have XYZ, it's worth X, and I'm going to put it in the marketplace. And you do that, next thing you know, you have money. It's kind of simple, right? It's simple, but it's not. Because one of the things is when you study history and you look at how this country was built, you start to see some things, because there are many people who are mental whores. They're good people, but mentally they're a whore. They bend over every day and take it. Because for some reason, that switch, the pimp switch, has never been turned on, and they don't even know they have. Everyone has a pimp switch. Every last one of us. And those who actually turn it on and like go hard, or they're just out for money. You know what my pimp switch is turned to? Freedom. Because the things I do grant me freedom. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. You can't get around it. But how do you turn on your switch? You really have to start thinking about some things, because essentially that whole question of how to get money, how to make more money, there should be a larger conversation and a lot more planning before you even get to those questions. Because let's just put it this way. You have a credenza. No, better, let's say you have an organ, right? And you put this price tag on it of $8,000. But you're in Topeka, Kansas, and no one in Topeka, Kansas buys an $8,000 organ. And you keep that $8,000 price tag on that organ in Topeka, Kansas for years and years and years. But you never go to the internet. You never research the market. You never realize that, hey, it's a rare organ, and if you were to somehow able to market that organ in Lufthansa, I just made that up, they'll pay you $16,000 and pay for the shipping over there. But because you have limited your pimping to a very small circle that doesn't appreciate your pimping, doesn't want your pimping, could give two shits about your pimping, but you're frustrated and you want to blame the marketplace. You're like, these folks don't know this is a deal. This is the best organ on the planet. It's awesome. The notes are pristine. They are clear. And the marketplace has told you not once, not twice, but 10 times, and you're out for the count. They don't want that shit. But you still keep trying to shove it down their throat. Take this organ. Oh, take it, girl. Take it. You don't want it. Why are you getting up? Why are you laughing? Why are you walking away? What? Essentially, you have many people that do that every day of the week. The marketplace is like this. If you bring out something that the marketplace wants, you will be rewarded. Whether it's legal or not, you will be rewarded. If you insert something into the marketplace that the marketplace doesn't want, it's not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well at all. It's going to be heartache, misery, and a flat ass wallet. This is the thing. And you really have to understand this. You can have a crappy product. And I'm going to use myself because I like to use myself because they're my videos and that's how this shit goes. But let's take my first book. There are internet forums about me. There are people that talked about it. The books, Ebonics, Ghetto, this, all kinds of stuff. But that sucker sold because technically it was not perfect. I'm big enough to admit that. It's the truth, and I can live with it because if you're going to screw up on your books, screw up on your first, second, third book. Book number 10, if I'm doing that kind of shenanigans, I need to be bitch slapped. But it sold because, no, it wasn't pretty, but it gave the marketplace something that they wanted. Now, there are books out there, new books, recent books that have been out for years, that are actually much better than my first book, but they are not selling. Why? Because the marketplace has shifted. But because they're like, I'm going to write the perfect book. That's right. It's going to be great. There will be no typos. It'll be wonderful. And the fans will love it. Yet, they look into their CreateSpace accounts and their Kindle accounts and it's like, shit's not selling. But that's what happens when you ignore the marketplace. Because this is the thing. People are on to something bigger and better. Everyone knows that storage auctions are hard. Everyone knows that you're going to have to work your ass off. Everyone knows that you're going to buy a lot of junk. And a lot of people don't want that. That's why picking is just doing this. I'm serious. And it hasn't even hit the vertical yet. Give it another year and you're going to see all kind of crazy stuff with picking because it's just going to go through the roof because it's more appropriate for the average person. It's easier to get into, it's saner, and you can turn it on and turn it off if you want. But back to how to make more money. I'm going to give you really the recipe. It's serious, and it's 2 words. 2. Not 1, 2. Framework. Understand, you may be selling on eBay, you may be selling on Etsy, Amazon, boogawooga.com, and all of those are selling channels. They are not your framework because your name's not on them. You don't own them, you don't control them, you do not dictate policy. If you cannot dictate policy, you will be at the whims of the people who can. And often the policy that will be dictated will be in their best interest, not yours. So, understand, and this is not don't use channels. The thing is to understand the relationship and in your framework what channels are. Channels, selling channels, are your hoes, okay? I'm going to go with the street vernacular because when I speak like this, I'm never misunderstood and people get it and like, okay, I understand. That shit makes some sense. So, eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, they are your whores, right? You're the pimp and that's your stable. Got it? Cool. Now the thing is, this is what's happening to a lot of pimps out there. Their whores are making more money. Their whores are bench slapping them. Their whores are kicking them out the house and their whores are laughing. There's a problem because you are not properly conditioning your hoes. You have not properly annotated, set out and said, okay, eBay hoe, this is your role in my framework. Amazon hoe, this is my role in my, this is your role in my, your role in my framework. The relationship is actually it's the converse because your hoes are dictating to you. And no wonder you look in the mirror and you go, I don't like myself. You shouldn't, because you are being bitch slapped by your hoes. You shouldn't like yourself. You are not running the game is running you. And that's the problem because there's no framework. Once you get framework, what's the framework? Number 1 is this: your mentality, your core state. That's your number 1 framework. You must have the audacity to actually say you want some shit in life. There are many people who are ashamed to say they want something because, you're not a good person if you say that, or if you're a short man and you want this big titty girl with red hair. There's something wrong with you. You should just appreciate people on their personality. Personality is like a credit card with no limit on it. It doesn't do a whole hell of a lot for you if that's not what the person wants. Bad analogy, but you get the gist. Essentially, it's like a personality like this. If the marketplace doesn't give a shit about the personality, the big titty red-haired girl's going to win every time. Until she gets old and, the titties are like to her navel, and then, the marketplace is like, okay, we're going with her personality now. Or like the short dude who's bald. He's not getting any love too until, he starts that company, and next thing you know, he's got a M or a B behind his name for millionaire or billionaire. Then he can get all kind of love. He can get the redhead chick. It's because you now have something to offer to the marketplace. I'm going to say this because, I was going to do this book because a lot of folks don't know this. My first book was supposed to be a relationship book. I know, right? Crazy. And this was one of the questions that I asked 300 women. I didn't ask everyone that I interviewed, but I asked 300. And it's like, if a man came to you and said, look, I have other chicks, but I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to buy your own house. I'm going to buy you a car. I'm going to get a health insurance plan for you. I'm going to get you everything you want. But the deal is, when I come over Tuesday and Thursday, that time's mine. What would you do? Now, I want y'all to guess at the percentage rate of the women who said yes, they would do that shit. I want you to just guess. I'm not going to tell you because for the average guy, it's going to blow your mind. For the guy who's been out there, who knows how things really work, he's like, ain't surprised. But I want you to guess what the percentage rate was. And let's just get away from the moral labels. It's about marketplace and what you have to offer. Just think of it in those terms, and you'll probably get very close to the correct answer. Because, during my survey, it was like, I didn't take names or anything, and it's just pretty much, it's a blind survey, I got a lot of real honest answers that shocked the shit out of me. But essentially, it's about marketplaces. It's about marketplaces. But if your pimping is flat and your wallets are flat, it's not the marketplace. It's you. I'm going to say that again. It's not the marketplace. It's you. You have products the marketplace doesn't want. You're trying to make them want it because you think it's a deal. Just because you went to a garage sale or a storage auction and got a room for $5 and it has all this stuff in it, it doesn't mean the marketplace wants it. Why do you think when I was in the storage auction game, I specialized in furniture? It was something that a lot of people need. You don't want a washer and dryer. You need a washer and dryer. You don't want a refrigerator. You need a refrigerator. You don't want a sofa. You need a sofa to sit on after coming from that job that you hate to rest your weary bones, man. Needs. Marketplace. Needs. That's the reason it was successful, because people are like, I'm not some kind of genius. I just figured out that I would have a better shot at selling people shit that they needed versus stuff they wanted. I'll give you the ratios. Warehouse, 4,000 square feet. Everything was $1. Why? Because cheap bullshit sells, whether they want it or need it, because the price of admission is small. Middle of the road, another 3,000 square feet. Actually, no, 4,000 square feet. Regular run-of-the-mill stuff, the furniture, the washer and dryers, the appliances. And then, it was only 10,000 square feet, right? 4,000, that's 8,000 square feet. 2,000 square feet for the really nice shit. Why? Because it sold slower. Because there was less demand for it in the marketplace. They may have wanted it, but they didn't need it. I mean, seriously. That's the gist. So, when you're setting up your business and you want to make money, number one thing you have to do is set up an income goal. Because the income goal is something you can reverse engineer and work your way back to the things that you need to get to that income. Most people buy some stuff and I want to make it just as much money as possible. Or, it's not going to work, because there's a whole nother segment to this, and it's called a universe. And the universe, if you don't activate the universe with purposeful claims, purposeful wishes, wishes, I want to be happy. What is that? I want to be happy in my house with 3.8 bedrooms in a nice neighborhood and a good school system for my kids. Guess who's going to get what they want? You need to have some intent and purpose with your mental process. It is super, super important. That's why framework starts with your mind, what you have to give, what you're willing to give, versus you have some shit to sell. That's one of the reasons that so many resellers actually don't do well, because they're not selling stuff the marketplace wants. But that's it. But once again, check out the video. If you like it, subscribe, and let me know what are your thoughts on this whole situation with making money. What's your thoughts? Are you making money or are you broke? I really want to know. Because once you start figuring this stuff out, the money will come.